everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things, and this is my spoiler for The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. So, I loved this book. If you didn't watch my review, go watch my review. It's super short, and I just loved this book. That's pretty much what I said over and over again. Um, I think I, don't, I just it was fun, and I liked the whodunit aspect, and um, I liked that it started and ended with the same person. um, I I like that we got to follow Dr. Shepherd along with the detective and find the clues and I I was like, "Oh my goodness." So first we started with what, a suicide cuz excuse me, because the lady, offed her husband by poisoning slowly, and then she felt bad about it. But as we learn, nobody felt sorry for him because he was not a good guy. And so everyone just turned a blind eye to that, even though Dr. Shepard's sister was like, "Yeah, she poisoned him." And he's like, "Yeah, how, that's hearsay. You don't know that." And I like how during the whole thing, every time he was asked a question from his sister, he was like, I can't, a doctor confidentiality kind of situation. So he would try to not gossip because she's the gossip, the town gossip. And I like how we are following Dr. Shepard, and we think that we're trying to figure out who the murderer is, or we think that he's trying to figure out who the murderer is because he's like, "Huh, I didn't think of that. Wow, what's that?" And it seems so genuine, and you're like, "Oh, it was." I was gonna say butler. I don't think he was the butler. It's Parker. It's Parker. Parker did it. He was nosy. And then they kept saying, "No, it couldn't be him. It couldn't be him." But I was still like, at the end, I was still like, it could have been Parker. It could have been. He was so nosy. And then we learn more about the sister-in-law, the man's sister-in-law, Roger Ackroyd's sister-in-law, came to live with him after her husband died, and we found out that he was very much a stickler for the money and would only pay the bare minimum stuff for them. And I was like, I mean, technically, he doesn't have to pay anything. You ain't his wife. Um, but um, I was like, oh, maybe she did it. Maybe her and her daughter did it together. Yeah, that had to be it. And then there was the whole no, because the sorry, my kid has a slinky. She was like, "Slinky, slinky." Anyway, so then I was like, "Okay." But then that lady's daughter was married to his son, adopted son, so they're not blood related, so they can get married, or they're engaged. And I was like, maybe they did it. I'm like, sometimes the evidence pointed to different things, and I was like, oh my gosh, but who did it? I just want to know. And then um we find out, like, there's this other person, this Archie, whatever his name was, and I was like, hold on just a minute. Sorry. And then there was the Rod the and then there was Archie Goodwin, and I was like, okay, solved. He did it. And then we find out more about him, and I was like, oh. And then you find out that his mom was trying to figure out how to kill him. I was like, she did it. The housekeeper did it. She's the one that murdered Roger Ackroyd. Yep, she did it. And then it was like, oh no, she liked him. Never mind. So like, there was just this roller coaster of like, who did it? Who did it? Who did it? Okay, pause the video. Who do you think did it? Um, and then you come back, and I'm gonna tell you. Um, I I was afraid that I wouldn't like this book because it was written 1926, and I know a lot of books from then are questionable and kind of racist, and I was like, "Well, is this gonna be one of them?" I know that I've recently heard that some of the Nancy Drew books are getting pulled, and I'm like, I'm trying to collect all of them, okay? If you pull some off the shelves, then how am I gonna collect them all? Um, I feel like that's stupid. Don't we need to keep those books so we could remember how things were so we don't fall back to that. Does that make sense? Okay. Now that I'm done with that. Okay. We're not going to talk about that. That's not what this is about. This is about the book. Okay. But I was afraid about that. And I have notes over here. By the way, that's why I keep looking. I've lost my place. So I'm just rambling now. Oh, one of my favorite plot twists was the fact that Roger Ackroyd's adoptive son, who he raised from a baby, like I mean, like a little kid, so they were close, well, close. Um, was actually secretly married to one of the maids. I was like, when did that happen, and how did no one else know? Um, I thought that was a really good plot twist. And then I started thinking like there were two characters that didn't get very much interaction with. I don't remember their names. Uh is it like Haste let's say it was Hastings. I don't think that's it. I don't I don't remember their names. Oh my goodness, did I not I didn't even write them down. So there were two characters that didn't get very much book time. I was gonna say screen time, but it's a book. And I was like, maybe it was one of them. Because one of them is like a general or something, and then don't remember. Oh, the other one was he was like the bookkeeper or something like that. I'm not I don't know. All I know is that they were all in the house at the time of the murder. And then the time of the murder kind of a little and Dr. Shepherd did it. I was like, "What? What? This whole time we've been following you around collecting clues and you were the one?" Oh my goodness. I was so like What about your sister? What about your patients? Um, I loved it. I loved everything about the books. The book. The book. One book that I read. Did you read this book? Did I just spoil it for you? I mean, I warned you. I warned you that this was a spoiler, but I loved this book. There were so many awesome plot twists, and it was like, oh, oh, what? And yeah, I loved this book. I hope that you read this book if you haven't read it, and you love it just as much as I did. Who was your favorite character? I was gonna say my favorite character was the detective, but I actually think that it was Shepard's sister. Caroline, I believe was her name. I didn't write that down either. Um, she was a bit nosy, and I kind of liked that she was secretly nosy. Like nobody realized that she was just collecting data, and she was kind of she didn't understand some like dry humor. Like you'd be like, "Oh, that snake would have bitten you." And she'd be like, "There was no snake there. What are you talking about?" um, yeah. I liked this book. Tell me what you thought of the book. What was your favorite plot twist? And what other books have you read from the reading challenge? I am currently also reading um Hunger Games. It's I don't really feel like reading it. I mean, I've read it like 3 times before and I'm just kind of like, I don't feel like reading it. But I will. I will persevere through it. I am also reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone at night with my little one. We are almost done with that book. Probably 50 pages left. We just got to the they've decided that they're going to go down the trap door. And Hermione just came back because she was supposed to be posted outside the teacher's lounge. And Snape was like, "Oh, you're looking for this teacher? Let me go get him." Uh yeah. I'm trying to figure out which book I'm going to listen to next. There aren't very many more options for listening. There are a handful of books that aren't on uh Amazon. Not Amazon, app Audible. There aren't many options on Audible left, other than the ones that I have in book form. And like I said, I wanted to make sure that I read all, like, physically read some books this year, not just listen to all of my books. And yeah. So that's that. What book are you listening to? Or what book are you reading? Or what book are you scanning through on your phone or tablet? Let me know. Like always, like, comment, and subscribe, and share because sharing is caring. And maybe you know someone who wants to read this book and you want to spoil it for them. No, don't do that. That's mean. Um, hey, you know what? Once they see the title, they can choose to watch my video or not. Um, you can't force them to watch a video, right? Um, that's all I have to say about the murder of Roger Ackroyd. Oh my goodness, every time. Agatha Christie's book. Okay, I like her. I like Agatha Christie. If you don't know who Agatha Christie is, you need to do some research. Google it. All right. That's I've already spoiled some spoils. and I liked this book. Okay, I don't know what else to say. Okay, I'll see you on my next video.